Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make a gate for Hoopers. Now, the first thing is, why is it called a gate? I have no idea because it doesn't open and close. The gate is simply a panel that the dog manoeuvres behind usually, or in front of if directed by the handler, as they are navigating the course. So here's some examples of what a finished gate would look like. Now, the actual dimensions of the gate vary between the organisations, but they're generally between 90 and 100 centimetres high, so about a metre high, and a little bit longer than they are high, so 110, 120 wide. The gate has legs that stick out from the side to stop it from tipping over, and the legs are generally 30 centimetres each side. Now, the gate will have something covering the panel, but it has to be something that the dog can see through, but nothing that the dog might not be able to see and crash into. So something solid enough to be a clear physical barrier, but clear enough that the dog can see through it. So it can be some kind of netting, like fruit tree netting. It could be a plastic garden trellis. I'm going to be using some of this plastic fabric netting, simply because I've got a roll of it that I haven't used for anything else. Now, I've got my lengths of PVC pipe. This is 15mm pipe. The reason I'm using that is because it's cheaper than buying wider pipe. So if money is no limit, then yeah, definitely buy wider pipe, but this will do fine. Now, I have some connectors. I have two 90-degree connectors for the top corners. And then I have two 4-way connectors for the legs and the bottom corner. So these are my pieces for the feet. So the feet are going to stick out the sides like that. And this is going to be the upright and the base bar. The other things I have are my PVC pipe cutter. I have some cable ties. I'm going to attach the trellis with cable ties. I've got my measuring tape. Now, I've got some PVC pipe glue. I'm going to glue the frame, the rectangle frame in the middle, but I'm going to leave the legs not glued so that they can be taken off for travel. So I've got two 3-metre lengths of PVC pipe, and I've worked out that I'm going to do 4 legs or feet, which are 30 centimetres each. So that's 120. I'm going to make my gate 90 centimetres high, so that's 180 centimetres. And I'm going to make mine 120 centimetres long, so 2 lengths of that. So I'm going to have about 60 centimetres left over, but that's a good use of my 3-metre pipe. So I've got my tape measure. I'm going to mark the lengths that I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to cut them with my pipe cutter. So I'm using the winding style of pipe cutter. I wind it until it's tight. The little wheel is tight up against the pipe. And then I rotate the pipe, tightening it at the same time as it turns and loosens. I give it a little tighten, and once we are through, that's going to come away nice and neatly. So I'll just do a close-up of the pipe cutting. This is my scrap piece. So I unwind this until it fits around here, and then I bring this tight. So that's the little cutting wheel there, and this is the rotating swivel. So once it's tight, I can turn the pipe a little distance. You can see a little cut starting to happen there. Now it's getting a little bit loose, so I'm just going to tighten it a fraction, turn it a bit more. You can see the cut's getting a bit deeper. Tighten it slightly, keep turning. Tighten it a little bit more, and we're just about there. There we go. Great, so now I've got my 4 feet. I've got my 2 lengths and my my two uprights, and I'm just going to form my rectangle, and then I'm going to put the netting on. Now, as I said, I'm going to actually glue my frame together, but leave the feet unglued so that I can take them off if I'm transporting it. That's going to be the simplest way. You can have the whole thing dismantleable and compact that, but I'm going to go with the frame is going to be rigid. So I've got a little bit of glue. Pop a bit of that on the end there. Do the top first. That's one of my 90-degree things. Now I want to make sure that the two 90 degrees are lining up, so I'm going to put it flat on the ground. So now I'm going to glue in my two uprights. Again, I'm going to do it on the ground to make sure that it's nice and flat and square. Okay, so there's my frame. My feet are just going to be sitting in loose, but what we'll do now is put our netting on. So I'm just going to fix the netting on with cable ties. It's not massively strong and durable, but it's just very easy to replace it if it does get damaged. So I'm going to make sure that I cut the pointy end of the cable tie off and turn the pointy bit to the inside to prevent any injuries. Okay, and here we have our finished gate, ready for our Hoopers training. Good boy.